Welcome to the fourth session. This is virtual networking using LinkedIn in your job search. My name is Savannah Robison, and I'm going to be walking through some of these wonderful techniques. First of all, for housekeeping, it looks like everyone is already muted and their cameras are taken away. That is wonderful. At any point that you have questions, please feel free to use the chat bar or unmute yourself and chime on in. And at the end, there will be also room for any questions that you guys have developed over the presentation. Spears competencies. There we go, so you can see everything. So we are big about our competencies in Easton Center, and we're gonna be going over 3 of them with you during this presentation. So the first one is tech savvy. Some of you don't really feel like you are tech savvy, but that is going to change after this presentation. So we want to make sure you know how to anticipate and adopt a lot of different innovations throughout digital technology applications, and one of them being LinkedIn and how to really use that in your job search. The next one is builds networks. We want to make sure by the time that you leave the Spear School of Business that you've developed an informal and a formal network that's going to help you in your career, but also in your personal stage of life, no matter what phase of life you're in, okay? And then the last one is courage. So for me, that looks like stepping out into doing this Zoom Live. And for you, that may look like just calling somebody on the phone, maybe somebody that you don't know very well, to help benefit your job search, okay? So throughout this presentation, we're gonna be hitting on those. All right, and then the agenda items. So I'm going to be covering how to build an effective LinkedIn. For some of you guys joining us, you don't even have a LinkedIn, or maybe you started it, but you don't even know much about what a headline is. So we're going to be covering the basics. And then we're also going to be covering more in depth for people that have a LinkedIn and have it all filled out, but are really wondering where to go from there, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my video to continue on, and you will see my LinkedIn profile. All right, so I'm using the Easton Center's profile. All right, make this the full screen. So the first thing that you're probably going to want to do is develop a headshot. Okay, so ours is just Easton Center, but I'm going to take with you to a few different people that have really wonderful headshots, okay? Just for starters, whenever you're thinking about a headshot, you're going to want to do a background that's either a light or a natural looking background, and you're going to want to make sure that you have eye contact with the camera. All right. Some of you guys are probably wondering, what do I wear? So we're going to look at Jennifer. Jennifer looks very poised, professional. Her hair is done. She's wearing makeup, but it's very light. Her hair is out of her face. She has a solid shirt on. Some women, you may want to wear a blazer. That's completely up to you, just as long as it's a professional looking photo. Another thing about Jennifer is she, you notice, has some jewelry on, but it's nothing too flashy or over the top. Okay, so we just want to make sure that as we're getting ready for that photo, it's just like a career fair. We just want it to be very simple and tasteful. Okay, now for the men, what do you wear? We're going to go to James Haycraft. There he is. So James, you're going to see, also has his hair done. All right, looks like he might have even just got a fresh cut for this photo. All right, he has a suit on with a shirt and a solid color tie. All right, so some people you might see have a more fancy looking tie on. A lot of those people aren't entry level. They've been in their career for a while. So I would personally suggest, if you are just starting out, that you have a more solid color tie. And you're gonna see that in both of these photos that I've shown you, their background is just probably a wall, okay? I'm gonna take you to the third and final headshot of Brianna Gallagher. So she is a career consultant in, that's over all of Spear, or all of OSU. Her photo, as you can see, she's wearing a higher OSU grad shirt. So that is where she works, and she's repping them. And then her hair's done out of her face. She's smiling, making eye contact. And in the background, it looks a little bit different than some of the others. So she has the library in her background. And actually, whenever she was giving me her presentation, she said she wanted something that was iconic about OSU. So if that's how you guys are feeling, maybe you are a sports management major and you want to do something with Boone Pickens in the background. That's okay. All right. So make it fit your personality and what you're trying to achieve on LinkedIn. But I do like that her background, although it's iconic and you know what it is if you're from OSU, it's still muted and she is still the vocal point. Okay. If you guys have any questions about your headshot, feel free to get with one of the career consultants and we can go through it with you. And then on her background, so this photo right here, I actually like it better this way. So on her background photo, some of the others didn't have a background photo. This is completely up to you. If you do have a background photo, again, remember everything you do is marketing yourself. So with hers, you can see that she is connecting a lot of different things. She's connecting ideas and people through email and the world. All right, that is actually what Bree does. And so what I would stay away from here are any quotes or anything that isn't in a professional setting. Okay? All right, so now that we have headshot and background taken care of, we are gonna go into headlines. So you guys have probably heard what a headline is. I'm gonna look up Bree again because she is actually a very good person for this. So Bree, her headline, it's gonna be right here. It's career consultant, higher educational professional, and she's passionate about something. And if I clicked on it, it would say passionate about college students' professional development. Okay, so those are bursts of phrases that are describing the message that Bree wants to get across. Okay, whenever you are going into what your headline should be, you want it to really describe you and the message you're trying to bring to the table. So for this person, not picking on anyone, I think mine said student at Oklahoma State University for a while too. But there's 26,000 students at OSU. Okay, so we want to make you more unique and different. And we want the recruiters and the professionals in your life to really be interested whenever they look up your name. Okay, yours may look like Oklahoma State University honors student and aspiring HR professional. If you are looking for an internship, you may switch it up during that phase of your life, and it might state something along the lines of OK State Junior seeking public accounting internship. Okay, so depending on what phase of life you're in and what you're looking for, those are probably going to change with you. All right, now we are going to go into your summary. All right, I'm going to go back to our Easton Center summary for this one. All right, so it's going to be the about you. For the about you, we have our Easton Center Find Your Why. Okay, we have our why statement right here. If you are wanting to develop your why statement, at the end of this, you can go to Easton Center OK State, and underneath Career Services, you can click on that, and it's going to take you to our Find Your Why guide. Okay, I think I have a question. Where do you enter your headline? All right, it is going to be, get out of there. Up in this little corner, you're going to click it, and then that's going to drop down, and it's going to give you a place to enter your headline and your summary. Good question. All right, so the about you. So if you're interested in creating your own Find Your Why, that's great. What we really want to do in our summary is, it's also, if you think of like your 30-second elevator speech, okay? You want to write this in first person. And you also want it to be complete sentences. Unlike your headline where it's bursts of phrases, this is all going to be in a paragraph format. Things that you can talk about, you can speak about your career goals, your passions, the professional development that you've done, You may want to use keywords within your industry. And you can also use this section to talk about strengths or geographic locations that you're targeting in your job search. Okay, so this is pretty wide open. If you have any questions about, I don't know, things that maybe recruiters might be looking for in your industry, again, feel free to ask or set up an appointment with your career coach. All right. So now this is the basics of your LinkedIn profile. All right. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask them. Now we're going to get into what does a job search look like on LinkedIn. Okay. So first of all, there's going to be this little jobs guy, and you can click him. This is going to be as simple as if you were to type it into Indeed or any type of other job search base, I guess, like Indeed or the Hire system. Okay, very, very self-explanatory. I'm gonna go back to home. Okay, so the way that you can connect in using your job search is what I'm gonna be focusing on next. All right, so connections. There are 3 types of connections: first, second, and third. All right, so I was looking up all the people that we are connected with, and if you come here, Mike, sorry, but I gotta use you. So Mike, oh, I didn't want to use him yet. Let's go back to Bree. Bree is our first connection, okay? Right here it says first. So what this means is you can send them a message already, okay? You can click this and send them a message. Either we have sent her an invite or she has already connected with us, but we do, since we are already friends, I can message her, okay? Then you have your second connection. And Mike's up. There we are. If we go to Mike, he's our second connection. So as you can see, I cannot message him, but I can connect with him, okay? So what a second connection means is they are a connection of one of your first connections, okay? To message him, you would have to connect, and then you could message him if you're interested in anything for your career or how he got started in his, all right? And then you also have your third connection. And gosh, I feel we have over 500 connections on the Easton Center, and so it was hard for me to come up with a third connection. But what that's going to look like is if I were to type it into a box, let's just do, Jared Romo. Okay, Jared Romo, he is one of our recruiters. So where this says second, it would not say that. It would say third, okay? And third, the only way that you could connect with them is if they have both of their first and last names listed. That's going to depend on their privacy setting. If you guys have more questions, because I know that one is a little bit more of a confusing one, let me know, okay? So really want to push connect, but I'll wait, okay? All right. So now let's talk about how to network with professionals, okay? One of my favorite ways to connect with alumni are through LinkedIn, all right? So let's say, I'm gonna be using Paycom for this example, all right? Let's say that I really want a job at Paycom, but I don't know who I should be connecting with. I'm gonna come here to people. So you're gonna click the search bar, click people. All right, once you're here, I want you to click all filters. So you can fill out as many of these as you want. I'm gonna fill out the current company, which is Paycom. So people that are currently listed that work there. And then I'm gonna come down to schools and I'm gonna click Oklahoma State. So by clicking Oklahoma State, you're gonna get people that are alumni or people that have Oklahoma State in common with you, whether they just root for us in football or whether they've gone here. And we're gonna click apply. Wow, so just at Paycom, there are over 300 people that I could reach out to, okay? So this is the part that I was talking to you about courage, right? Okay, it's gonna be, for some of you, very easy to just push connect and then type an email to them. For others, this is going to be really far out of your comfort zone, but I promise you it's so worth it. First of all, alumni love to help current students. Anytime that they can get more OSU people at their company, it just gives them a great sense of pride, and they're always the first ones to want to help. But also it shows that you take initiative if you go and connect with them first, even if you don't know them, okay? All right, so say you want to find Parker, okay? And then you connect with him. So let's say let's go back to all filters, and I want my first connections there because I want to message them right now. Okay, I have 5 people that I can message. Whenever you click message, this box pops up. So what I would strongly suggest is you just writing, Dear Sophia, I'm interested in applying to Paycom for a marketing analyst internship. I was wondering if you had any tips or suggestions in what type of candidate you guys are looking for. Another way that you could say that is, I am really interested in the marketing analyst internship. I was wondering if I could get you on a phone call for 15 minutes just to ask about your experience there and what it's like to work at Paycom. Okay. The reason I say get somebody on the phone is that is so powerful and so much more personal. All right. They are going to be able to form a connection with you. And then after that, they're really going to want to invest in your future and help you either get a job there or become a candidate that is really valuable. And we have another chat. Guys, Dawn said, is it possible to write your message in Word and then copy and paste? You know what? It sure is. So that's actually a really good point. Let's see if we were to write a message. Yep, see, so JOL actually doesn't spell anything. So I would probably suggest that you do write a message in Word and then transfer it over to the message format in LinkedIn just so you can catch any grammar mistakes. So that's a very good point. All right, so you guys are really just about to get hired right now. I don't know. But now we're going to go into, do we have any other questions as far as connecting to people who work at the company that you're interested in? If not, I'm going to move us over to LinkedIn Learning. All right, guys. So there are a lot of ways to improve your professional development on LinkedIn. You do get a free month trial to do any of these courses available, and there are over 1 million courses. So whether you want to learn how to do a pivot table or become better at Excel, or there's even a Python workshop that you can do. There's a lot of things that LinkedIn Learning has programmed for you. And also, if you're a beginner, right, like I would know nothing about Python, okay? So I can go to do the beginner courses. And if I type in up here, my learning, okay, I can go to the beginner courses and they have beginner all the way to advanced. All right, so maybe you are already pretty good at Excel, you're an accounting student, but you want to get advanced knowledge, then I would go and I would click here. We have one of our Easton Center teammates who they did a program on digital body language, and they said they learned so much in just 30 minutes. The digital body language, that is going to be good. They discussed what it looks like in Zoom, like if you're in video, or even what it looks like over email conversations. So, and there's also, if you're like, I don't really want to do a lot of the more technical stuff, but I do want to work on my soft skills during this time. There's something about being confident on camera. Wow, wish I would have known that a couple of days ago. All right, we've been doing a lot of Zoom calls. Building professional business relationships. So I would really take this time to use LinkedIn Learning. You have 30 days free trial. You have about 30 days left in quarantine. This would be a great way to boost your resume and really show different recruiters and people that you talk to after this that you took courses, okay? And you can even type up here certifications, and it'll pull up 373 different courses you can do. And this is the beginner, intermediate, and advanced, okay? So there's so much. And we have a question. Reconstruct a message in the current pandemic environment. Okay, so I know you can read this. I'll read it aloud. How do we construct a message in the current pandemic environment? One of my connections told me that most people are worried about keeping their jobs and not about getting others a job. You know, that is so true. Let's think about this. So, you know, when you're on the spot, it's a little bit different. I think that one thing I would say is maybe use this time instead of asking other people about how to get jobs, maybe construct a message just to see, you know, how is this, like, how did you get started in the company? Really just being more relational. And honestly, I would actually stress that that's maybe how you start a conversation regardless, right? Because you want to build a relationship with people. You don't just want to necessarily always just ask them for a favor, right? And so I think that if you were to make your message more along the lines of, what was your major? How did you get started? I see that you're also an OSU alum. You know, campus is pretty bare right now. I'm just looking for, you know, different ways to network and to find out more possibilities in this industry, but also wondering how you got started. Does that make sense, Nathan? Does that kind of help? And at the end of this, I'm also going to ask some of the people on my team to maybe help answer that question, because that is a really good question and really hard for this pandemic right now. I would agree.
Hey, Savannah, this is Abby. Can I chime in?
Love it.
I think you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head just as far as it's not about asking for a job. It's more of connecting with them. You talked about asking for their advice or just checking in on how they're doing. So anytime you can ask questions to check in with them, ask how their company is transitioning, you know, going through this transition, and not directly asking for something for yourself, but just, you know, wanting their advice and their guidance. And it's going to depend on the industry too. Some industries are more concerned than others, but you're right. You don't want to come across as, you know, asking for something during this time, but maybe find a way just to start the conversation in a way that is helpful.
Thank you. That was very well said and very true. All right. So that is my spiel on LinkedIn Learning. Oh, wait. I love this little chat bar. Okay. Oh, yes. And Teresa did make a good point. You should probably look into companies that are hiring before you network with those companies internally. So that's very good. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, now we're going to go back to home. Okay. So now I'm going to just go back to view my profile. Okay. We're going to transition again into groups. Okay, this is going to be our last topic before we move into any other Q&A that you have about LinkedIn. So with groups, they are a great way to connect with certain industries, geographic regions, or areas that you're passionate about, maybe not even in a career, but just a personal passion, okay? So one of the ways that you can go here by going to work and then down here to groups. All right, I'm going to click Discover. So all of these pop up. I want to make, okay, let's try international. Relations. I want to make sure I'm still in my groups. Okay. So in groups, I've had a lot of students come to me lately, and they're either international business students or they're affected by international trade or something along those lines. So I just typed in international relations for an example, but I'm going to come down here to the group of international government relations and public affairs. All right. Whenever I click this, it's super easy. You're just going to push request to join. There are 62,000 professionals. What I love about groups is, say that this maybe isn't something that you're wanting a job in, but you're really just wanting to stay more up to date and current on news and things that the public affairs and the government relations are publishing. Okay, you can request to join, and there are rules, just like if you were to be in a Facebook group. Okay, and then you can also see more about this group. And they even give you somebody to contact. So Jeffrey Taylor, you can contact him through a phone call, like I've been saying, or an email. Okay. So getting involved in groups is great. Let's say I'm moving to Tulsa. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's say I'm moving to Tulsa, and maybe I'm looking for a job, or maybe I have a job, but I'm really trying to I'm from a different state and I really want to get more involved. I would type in Tulsa Young Professionals. All right. Right here we are, 7,000 members. Again, you can just click this button to request to join. Using these resources is a great way to broaden your network and then deepen your engagement throughout the Tulsa region. Okay, throughout this, they post different get-togethers in the young professionals. They post different things that are happening, maybe like state fairs, but also just different things that are happening in the region, different professional outings that a lot of them are going to go to. And so this is a great way to stay really up to date in the city that you're in. I would suggest for anyone who is moving to a different city to add either their young professionals group or their chamber of commerce and join their group. Okay. I'm going to go back to our profile. That's what I have on groups. Are there any questions? I'm going to say a few more things that were brought to my attention. I have 2 college girls who get to live with me right now during this quarantine, bless their hearts. And so I was asking them, what are things that you don't know about LinkedIn? And one of the girls asked, how often do I need to get on, and how often do I post, and what do I post? So I would suggest, if you're just starting out, to get on here, or if you've been on for a while, truly, get on here for about 10 to 15 minutes a day. Connect with people who are in your house. Connect with people who are your professors, are people that you've worked for, people that you hope to work for. Start building your connections. I do want to say that it's not about the number of connections, but about the quality of your connections. Okay. So, be deliberate whenever you are searching for people. Okay. What do I post? Things that I would not post are things that have a lot of controversy. You want to remember that this is a professional site. And so anything that you post, you really want to be taken in the best light. And remember that these people may be people that are hiring you in the future. And so this should go for all of your social media platforms, but especially LinkedIn, to be, just respectful and post things that are interesting, but aren't going to cause a fight, I suppose. Make sure that you're commenting and liking other people's posts, right? So whenever somebody shares something, maybe they just got a job, send them a congratulations, all right? Having that different engagement on a professional platform is going to help you stand out in recruiters' eyes and just in the friends that you make throughout these professional connections. Things to post, what are you interested in, right? So you can share what other people are sharing, things that are going on in the world, fun things about your industry. Okay, so anything that you want, really, like leave that open. If you have specific questions about if this is appropriate or anything, get with one of us. We'd be happy to talk it over with you. But that concludes my presentation and everything that I'm going to go over. Do you guys have any questions for me? I do see a lot of the same names that have been at the other bootcamp virtuals. And so I really just want to thank you guys for joining us. And we at the Easton Center really hope that all of these are setting you up and that you feel like you have support, because that's what we're here to do. We're just here to support you. So I'm going to stay on for a while, but you guys are free to go.